Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with us tonight here at Phoenix Esports, where we have Final Bastion taking on CB Frost. I am Bickle. I am joined by the wonderful Righteous. Righteous, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing pretty well. Slight delay towards the game, thanks to the wonderful Mother Nature, but it seems like we're getting everything all fixed on our ends, and we're going to have a great game tonight.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Last time I was here, we watched Final Bastion take on another team, and this time they're taking on CB Frost, so it'll be interesting to see if they can keep the win streak going.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, the win streak going on for Final Bastion. They currently sit 2-0 with a 4-0 game record. CB Frost, not as lucky, currently sitting at 0-2 with a 0-4 game score, though we do have a bit of a roster shakeup for CB Frost. They're running with a different 80 carry tonight. Instead of their usual crew, they're going to be bringing in CB Sir Jackson at 80 carry.
Yeah, Gold 1 player. It'll be interesting to see how his 80 carry mechanics are. He is a jungle main from the looks of his op.gg. ADC, pretty easy role. All you do is right click, right? So, no, just kidding. But
Click and you're fine.
Really important. Yeah, right click and you're fine. No, really important role. Gold 1's low plat elo, so hopefully he can stabilize that bot lane against Frisky and crew.
Absolutely, and I'm curious. We've seen a lot of prio coming out from Frisky on that Caitlyn. Been picked or banned every game by Final Bastion. Do we expect that to see that continue? Probably banned away. And if it is banned away, what do you think both sides are going to fall to in the 80 carry position?
It'll be interesting to see if it's banned away. We had Rams on as a post-game interview last time. He was talking about how they typically put their bot lane in a position where they can kind of be like a self-preservation role in the terms of you give them a really strong 80 carry and Caitlyn, that oppressive range, safe support, and let them do their thing because they're playing towards Velikaz on the top. So it'll be interesting to see if CB took note. We ban that Caitlyn away. If that does happen, I do expect the Xayah to come out, another 80 carry where, though they don't have the range advantage, definitely still have a lot of poke, and then that ultimate to not only save themselves from some sticky situations in lane, but also really strong into the mid to late game with team fights.
Absolutely. Having that Featherstorm really gives you a nice get-out-of-jail-free card in case they ever dive in onto you, in case Adamas is ever rotating around trying to get up top to that top side to influence, like you said. Really just want Frisky to be able to stay safe. But if the goal of Final Bastion is to be able to play through Velikos topside and keep Frisky kind of on a safe 80 carry, what do you think CB Frost is going to have to do to counteract
that? CB Frost did take red side. My guess is they're going to give a counter pick, R5 to their top laner. I believe it's the World Ender. A pretty good top laner in his own right. Plat 4, 82 LP, almost plat 3 there. Lots of Renekton, some impressive, bruisers, bully lanes played. So get him the counter pick, seeing what Velikos is going to take, and then, going from there. Drafting a comp that'll allow not only him to do his thing in the side lanes, but also to allow the team fight to flourish in the mid game. Because I would say that's where Final Bastion kind of thrived, is knowing their team fight mechanics. They had really good, macro movement around the map, and so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. As you mentioned, kind of be focusing up on that top laner between Velikos and World Ender. Let's take a look at that other solo lane we have going on mid lane between Rams and Aquino. Both Akali players from the looks of their OPGGs, as well as the fact that it has been banned against them every single game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect Rams to get the Akali. Definitely be one pick for him if he gets his hands on it. That means Aquino's not going to get his Akali either. There is a little bit of a I'd say ranked gap between Rams and Aquino. Whole division lower, plat 4 to silver 1. Sorry. That doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. If you're on a comfort champ, I'm looking at the Rise is really strong right now. The Syndra maybe. If Rams doesn't get his hands on the Akali, I do expect to see an Anivia maybe, or possibly a Vygar is what he said he prefers. So it'll be interesting to see if it's a Mage v Mage. I think Aquino would take that. Kind of just stay back, farm, move around with your jungler, hopefully. Don't get too crazy and just scale up to the mid to late game.
Absolutely, and it looks like we're about to find out exactly what is in unfold for us as we are about to head into draft for game number 1 between Final Bastion and CB Frost.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. Definitely gonna be interested to see what these two carry top winners end up taking against each other. And I'm also curious to see what Ice has kicking. He brought out the Imperial, or not Imperial Mandate, sorry, Radiant Virtue Vi, game 1 last week. He also has his Diana, kind of his pocket pick comfort champ. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with this first pick on blue side.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, Radiant Virtue just becomes such a heavily priored item, especially by some of these tank junglers that we've really seen come to the forefront. We've seen variations of Maokai, both AP and tank, with that Radiant Virtue, but Vi, like you mentioned, becoming such a high prio pick. If Ice decides to go that way, I'm curious what Extinction on the side of CB Frost is going to bring up.
Yeah, you mentioned the Maokai pick, and I definitely think that is a very stable pick. Has really great wave clear. Until I think tomorrow is the next patch where it gets a little bit nerfed, but really great wave clear, really great team fighting with that ultimate, that pick potential in the W. I would say that's like B1 material. I feel like Iced, if we're playing like competitive game, we're talking about metas and stuff. I think Maokai B1, you couldn't go wrong with that. But I do see that CB Extinction on the side of blue side does not play a ton of Maokai, so it'll be interesting to see if they have to ban that away from Ice. In which case, I do think the Vi might come out, or maybe even Diana, or who knows, maybe the B1 top side.
Absolutely. Maokai, as you mentioned, strong pick all around, and its great flexibility, has that triple flex potential between top, jungle, and support. Of course, if we're expecting more carry-style top laners between Velikos and World Ender, we're probably not going to see it head up there, but it is a very strong pick for both Iced and Extinction, as well as Adamaz and Fateful Deaths.
We should be able to get in a draft here.
Sounds like we're just waiting on 1 second for the side of CB Frost, but we are in for game number 1's draft between Final Bastion and CB Frost. Final Bastion on the blue side, CB Frost on the red side, and we're going to be kicking it right off with an Ornn ban from Final Bastion.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I do expect the counterpick to go to R5 topside. The Ornn ban coming out, 60% win rate for the World Ender. Just banning away a comfort champ, it seems like, and the Rise coming out as well.
Yep, Rise banned out, as you mentioned, so strong with that, with the changes to both Seraphs as well as Rod of Ages, but CB Frost banning away that Caitlyn that we mentioned, the Comfort of Frisky, as well as the Maokai that you had previously mentioned, whereas Final Bastion is going to round out their bans with the Syndra being targeted mid at Aquino, and the last ban, hovering, locked in, is the Anivia ban at Rams.
Wow. Bard Hover, I don't expect that to be locked in. I do expect the Akali potentially. Both mid laners play it. It is a favorite for Rams. Interesting to see that they left the Akali open and instead opted to ban the Anivia, and we see Ice Diana instead.
Yep, Diana locked in there. Good, likely heading towards Ice for that jungler. Something you mentioned, that Akali still up. Both Aquino and Rams are solid players of that. We did see the hover of the Twisted Fate. I'm almost wondering if that's saying, yeah, take the Akali, we dare you. We'll pick the TF into it and just beat you out of lane. But we'll have to see exactly what comes out of that right now. CB Frost up with their first 2 picks, possibly looking to match the jungle, which they do with the Volibear, and have one more to answer. My guess would be this goes to Sir Jackson at AD carry.
Yeah, I would guess so. It's interesting to see. I have not seen a lot of Volibear recently. I do, however, think he has really great synergy if he opts into that Radiant Virtue item. It just goes full tank with Radiant Virtue. The ult, you're already getting health. I'll get some regen with that. And we see Rel come out for the support for CB Frost.
Yep, good engage.
Very often.
Yeah, good engage, good solid front line right now for the side of CB Frost in this double tank front line right now for Extinction and Deaths right now. And yeah, that's going to be tough to cut through. So you're going to need to see Final Bastion really pick up something likely at the AD carry position that can kind of cut through these tanks. And we'll have to see exactly what that decision comes out to be. And it's going to be the Janna for Disengage, great into that Rel, able to stop the crash down with the Tornado.
Yeah, ever since Rel came out, Janna's kind of like the pocket pick counter. You see a lot of Janna, maybe some Alistar as well, but Janna, Rel lines up for the W and then all of a sudden gets stopped by that Janna Q. Really, really frustrating. Interesting to see that Janna come out. My guess is we see probably that Xayah come out as well. Volibear is going to be looking to dive. Rel's going to be looking to dive. You have that Xayah ultimate at the ready. You'll be pretty safe. But instead, it's Ezreal. Wow. I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
Ezreal locked in another safe AD carry. Of course, has that Arcane Shift, just giving him a get out of jail free card on about a 15-second cooldown as things go. So, as you mentioned, safe AD carry that can kind of appeal for themselves. Not the Featherstorm that the Xayah brings to the table, but having a free flash is never a bad thing. But CB Frost is going to respond with a Karthus lock-in.
Now that's very interesting. I'm assuming this is going to be a Karthus jungle pick. Would be very, very surprised to see it mid.
Now,
And if that's the
hear
case,
me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. Karthus AD carry for Sir Jackson.
Quite possibly. Especially, I mean, it could be you're gonna be basically handshaking and saying, like, Ezreal's gonna be scaling, Karthus is gonna be scaling. Really, no kill pressure in lane. It'd be really hard for the Rel to ever get on, but in team fights, Rel could do some damage. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe it's Karthus AD carry.
Yep, we'll have
Actually,
to
you
wait
know
and
what?
see.
The guy's a jungle main, so maybe you're
That's why
right.
that's why I'm thinking it. That's why I'm thinking it. Right now, though, we see bans coming out targeted towards that top side. Fiora and Darius banned away. Now a mid ban target as well with this Vex. All champs that have really been played before. World Ender plays a lot of Darius in his past solo queue. That is his most played champion. But we'll have to see what the final ban from Bastion comes out. Do they expect this Karthus to head to the AD carry position like we do, or do they think some flexibility is currently on the board? It is the Silas banning out towards the mid lane of Aquino Simp.
I'm a big fan of getting AP Karthus as like the single AP damage threat. I'm wondering if CB Frost has any AD mids that they have prepared to go into this Akali. Akali was left open all the way through draft. They could R4 it here. I doubt it's likely at this point. Maybe if they're trying to. Oh, there it comes.
There it
Comes
is.
out.
There's the Akali locked in for Aquino Simp. His most played champion by quite a bit. We'll have to see what the response is out of Rams. You have to feel like both teams had to have something in mind to pick into this Akali, leaving it up for so long. It'll be interesting to see what the side of Final Bastion brings out. Already have that Diana and Ezreal locked in for that jungle and AD carry, so we do still need the solo laners to be picked in here, and it is the Veigar being picked mid for Rams.
And this puts a lot of pressure on the Akali pick to really, keep this Veigar. I mean, it's going to be poked out until 6, but at 6, Akali has extremely high kill pressure on this Veigar, especially Veigar with no stacks. You pair it with like a Volibear ulting on the tower, things like that of nature. I mean, there's a lot of dive threat coming out the side from CB Frost. The Irelia for Vel'Koz.
Absolutely, like you mentioned, that carry style top laner coming in for Vel'Koz. That's going to be where Final Bastion is looking to press things, and CB Frost is calling it. They're going hands to hands. They pick up the Renekton for the World Ender.
Yeah, I mean, so anybody that caught the stream last time Final Bastion was on it, I mean, this man popped off with a quadrikill on the Irelia. Vel'Koz really, really comfortable with this champion, and the Renekton is definitely a interesting counter. It makes sense, especially get that PTA, stack the Fury early with the power W. See a lot of team fight tools on the side of CB Frost, however. It's definitely looking like a pick comp.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like you mentioned, with that Karthus AD carry, there's no reliable DPS threat like you may have out of something like that Ezreal for the side of Final Bastion. Also, very AP heavy between the Volibear, Karthus, and Akali. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any early Merc treads picked up. Maybe we see something like a Banshee's Veil or a Maw of Malmortius picked up as the game goes on. It'll be really interesting to see. I think a lot of the onus of execution here for Final Bastion is going to be on Adamaz to disengage the engages out of Volibear and Rel in particular, and really keep an eye on this Akali to see what the side of CB Frost is going to be looking for, like you mentioned, with that pick style comp.
Yeah, I mean, the onus is on CB Frost to have pushing solo lanes to really unlock this Volibear, kind of make some noise in the Diana side of the jungle. Akali, coming around with a Volibear would make a really bad day for Diana. Same with the Renekton as well. So you're gonna have to be really, really aggressive early, because I don't think late game favors CB Frost. I say Final Bastion probably has an easier time scaling. The Ezreal sitting back with the Janna. Vigar kind of just stacking up as the game goes on. So I expect a lot of pressure and focus to be on this top side with the Aurelia and Renekton. Both junglers I feel are going to be pathing up that way. It'll be interesting to see if we have like a maybe a cheesy level 3 from Volibear, potentially some unique pathing to kind of get iced onto this Diana kind of off kilter. Ice is really a tempo jungler, kind of making sure the game goes in his way. And when that kind of falls off, he struggles a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see if the Volibear can kind of do that.
Absolutely. So we do have our 2 drafts lined up here, and I got to ask you, right, just which comp do you favor here? Who are you going to go with for game number 1?
I'm probably leaning towards Final Bastion. I think just the ease of execution on this comp's a lot better. The Diana ult paired with the Ezreal ult, the Janet appeal, you have lots of options to go in as well as to disengage. The Vigar baby cage, the Janet, and everything like that. Whereas the side of CB Frost, it's really gonna be like you have to dominate these lanes early and make sure that Final Bastion can really step up in their jungle because you're gonna have to be looking for picks, and that's kind of a lot harder to pull off in this elo, I would say. So I'm going for Final Bastion.
I'm right there with you. I think what Final Bastion has is going to work out better for them. They have a lot of good disengage between the Event Horizon and the Howling Gale out of Janna to just disengage with that Vagar. And really, you're going to be looking at Extinction and Fateful Days to try and get those engages off the Rel and Volibear. But my eyes are really going to be on World Ender and Aquino on these 2 solo laners, like you said, to just try and get leads that they can push early. That's going to need to happen if they want to be in good positions come later games. As you mentioned, Final Bastion, come later game, they have a really easy to play comp in a way.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see. Ram said he doesn't like bringing out the Vigar unless he's comfortable in the matchup, and it seems to be comfortable for him if he's picking it right now. Lots of setup for this Diana to come around and really, ruin this Akali's day. Yes, she has the shroud and a lot of mobility, but one, misstep into a baby cage or maybe stepping up a little bit too far, and you're looking at a dead Akali. So it'll be interesting to see if Ice pivots or he just continues to play around top side. My guess is we see a lot of action on the top side of the map, though.
I'm right there with you. I expect Velikos versus World Ender on this Aurelia to be versus Renekton to be where a lot of this early action happens. We are finished with the in-client draft. We are heading into the spectator delay, so we are going to take a short break. And once we get back, we'll be here with game number 1 between Final Bastion and CB Frost. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into game number 1. Final Bastion here on the blue side, taking on CB Frost on the red side. Looking across the board, you can see CB Frost is wanting to play aggressive. They're playing for lanes. We got triple ignites across the board, whereas we do see the double TPs available on that Aurelia and the Veigar.
Yeah, and if you're CB Frost, that's basically saying we need to win lanes, otherwise this game's going to be lost, because it's going to be so hard to play the macro game, especially with those 2 TPs coming out from the side of Final Bastion. You really got to steamroll the competition if you're locking yourselves into the triple ignite comp here.
Absolutely. Adamant, you also seen playing a bit safe, has opted for that Relic Shield, so to get himself a little bit of that extra health at the cost of the mana regen. Knows he's mostly just going to be saving that Howling Gale just to disengage anything Rel is coming in from.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see, looking at the builds here, the early tier start from Ezreal saying like, hey, neither of us really have kill pressure on each other, so I'm just going to stack up my tier as early as possible, get to my power spike, hopefully to this mid game a little bit sooner than normal. So that kind of confirms that, yep, both junglers are starting bot side. Let's have a fiesta up in top.
Absolutely. We're going to see that dance and that danger up in top side. We even saw the World Ender opt into that press the attack, so just getting himself the maximum possible one-on-one damage, especially with that Ruthless Predator. We already see trading coming in top side.
Oh, World Ender not afraid to take it to Velikos. The PTA has been procced. A Q hit, sitting about half health. Interesting to note that the isolated Qs coming out on the side of CB from Sir Jackson made it so this Volibear is on a very, very good timer, especially coming, he's starting at blue instead of red. Diana opting to full clear, and Volibear skipping his wolves. Expect to see a level 3 gank. Or Velikos has actually been taken really low.
Yep, level 2, hit up top side, nothing too out of the ordinary. Everybody just farming it out right now. Aurelia usually has easy times farming up with that Blade Surge, but the World Ender does have some early CC and really strong kill potential in lane, keeping Velikos a little safer in lane.
Okay, so the junglers should spot each other out. Diana opting to skip blue side.
There's the pings.
Red, and there's the pings. Yep. Really funny. Good pivot for Diana. Realizing like, hey, Volibear might be just going for that 3 clear camp into topside gank, opting to get that vision for his top laner instead of trying to do that full clear immediately.
Absolutely, both junglers were looking aggressive at this top side, seeing if they could get anything. Meanwhile, bot side, everybody's just farming out at the moment. World Ender dashing in with the slice and dice, gets the stun off the Ruthless Predator, trades with that Call the Meek, and is going to back.
I'm pretty impressed with the way the World Ender has been taking this lane approach. Not on his back foot, instead meeting Velikos head on and saying, I'm a pretty good top laner too. Both have some carry solid champs. Let's see who's actually better. And Volibear, hovering, gonna take this scuttle with no contest from Diana.
Absolutely. So we do see that early scuttle taken up top side. Bot scuttle is still available, as you mentioned. Fable Death looking at this possibly has a possible engage there, but just going to be backing it off. Mid lane though, trading back and forth with some autos. Flash forced away off that. Fateful Death goes in, does unfortunately miss off the crash down. That means he's going to be chased down here. Autos coming in from both sides. He's low. Arcane Shift does not come out yet. Mystic Shot hits, forces the crash down, and the mount up to come out. Howling Gale goes wide, but look at that. Fateful Death already chunked out.
Yeah, and if you're Faithful Death, I think that confirms in your mind it's going to be really, really hard to engage on the side of Ezreal and Janna. Maybe I'm just going to sit back and let my Karthus... Yeah, sit back and let my Karthus farm. Oh.
Frisky's playing up. He's eating that Defile damage. Has to Arcane Shift away, but Faithful Death goes in, has to flash away. The Howling Gale comes out for the slow. The auto comes out from Janna. Adamans picks up first blood. Exhaust is going to come out on the Sir Jackson, who's going to be walking away. Currently has no mana. 1-0 going the way of Final Bastion in that bot lane.
Yeah, if you're going to blow the flash, you might as well blow it towards the Ezreal.
Look who's here. It's Extinction. Gonna walk away.
A little bit of a misplay from Faithful Death and Sir Jackson leads to the support death, and thankfully the first blood was going to Janna instead of the Ezreal, otherwise it'd be a really long lane. But loss is a little bit mitigated.
Absolutely. Both top laners have taken their first back, getting some early items, and just trading back and forth. There's that stun off the Ruthless Predator enhanced, but Velikos is dashing in, has that Conqueror stacked. CP Extinction's looking to here, crash down, forces out the flash of Janna.
And the vision on Diana, they know Diana is bot side. Can't really start this Drake yet unless they can choke out the Ezreal and Janna a little bit more, maybe get some more damage on them. And it is backing. They do have a timer, but it's gonna have to be really confident to pull the trigger here.
Absolutely. All eyes here on Fateful Death. Does have that mount-up move speed available if he ever wants to go in and try and get the flip. And there he goes now. Arcane Shift away. Pulls him back in. Ooh. Does not have the Attract and Repel up for the stun, though. No follow-up.
A little bit of weird interaction. Ezreal probably thought he was out. Maybe E-buffered a little bit late. Still got knocked up from the Rel W. But the push is going for CB. Can they relay this into Drake? Actually, both junglers are top side, so probably a late dragon take for both sides.
Yeah. Damage coming out. Both mid laners chunked a bit. No mana on the side of Rams. They both have hit 6. Kill threat is there.
Yep. This is the Akali time to shine. Veigar doesn't have any stacking, but very slow, and should be able to hit a power spec here with the item. So hopefully we'll see some action in the mid lane.
Dominus forced out topside off of that flawless duet. Velikos was looking to possibly go on World Ender, thought the dash in from the Blade Surge would be there, so he wanted to pop the Dominus, get himself a lot of extra HP and the Fury stacked up. Not going to get anything, though, so that is the level 6 already burned for the World Ender. So possibly look for more action to come up from Velikos topside later. But we do see the World Ender take that back there, come back to lane with a pickaxe.
World Ender got a really good crash, gonna be an item up, but ultimate down. Gonna have to play safe here for a little bit. TP still available for Velikos. My guess is they get this wave back and then TP to meet the Renekton. Pretty much even items.
Ice taking this dragon right now, doesn't have anybody supporting him. Extinction is in the area. I don't know if they're going to sniff it out right now. It does hit the Scryers now. Smite is just now up, and they take it. That's a free first dragon going the way of side Final Bastion. Though we do have an engage up topside. Defiant Dance is going to get the stun. There's the flawless duet. There comes the Vanguard's Edge, dashing in with these Blade Surges. That's chasing down. Ignite comes out from the World Ender, but Velikos flashes in, gets the final auto. That is a kill topside for Velikos, despite being down for autos, down for items. But meanwhile, bot side, it seems like a kill goes back, with Extinction picking up the kill onto Adamans, but Velikos taking control of this top side.
Yeah, World Ender not playing safe enough with that ultimate being blown early on in the lane. I don't think he realized how much of an advantage he had in terms of damage. He might have been able to get out of that.
They're looking to dive this. Fateful's looking to chase us. There's the Flash Stormbringer. Ice is in the area, gets stunned. The Moonfall comes in, picks up Extinction. Stunned off the Veigar cage, flashes away. There's a double TP in the bot side. Extinction will fall. Fateful is next on the menu, slowed off that crash down. He's trying his best. Flash in with the Baleful Strike for Veigar. That's another kill going over to Rams. They're looking to chase down Aquino too. He's in the Shroud, but he is stunned. Going to just try and get out of this. He is walking away. Aquino will get out of it, but his two friends in the bot side will not, as both Extinction and Fateful Deaths will fall.
Yeah, a little bit of an ill-timed dive there, not respecting the Rams TP. The TP changes. Nobody really thinks about TP's bot anymore. However, when you're pulling off a dive, that tower is right there for him to go to. Unfortunate for CB, and all of a sudden they're looking at about an 800 gold deficit. We'll call it 1,000.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, Rams TP down there, as did Velikos. That became a 5v3 in an instant. World Ender's looking to trade here. Actually just going to run away as we see Velikos working towards that Blade of the Rune King.
And it was a little bit sad for World Ender. I know he didn't have the ultimate available, but once he got out of that wave, I think he could have sat there and traded a little bit more with the Irelia instead of giving over that kill, because he did have a pickaxe, a longsword to his name. Just didn't really recognize the item advantage, and unfortunately goes down in a little bit on the back foot. That aggression that we saw earlier wasn't there that time.
Absolutely. It looks like Frisky and Adamans are just going to be trying to siege this bot side. Surge Action doing their best to just try and poke away with these lay wastes.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Fateful Death makes the right call here. I'm up here for Herald, but a little bit of a miscommunication. CB Extinction not really looking towards it at all. So you're kind of just letting the Karthus get poked out, give up farm for basically no reason.
Absolutely. Fateful Death has made a rotation up here. It'll be interesting to see if she does anything. Instead, just going to be taking the recall right then, heading back towards bot lane to meet up with CB Sir Jackson.
Yeah, and we see.
It looks like Aquino's looking at this roam, but he is warded out. Trading topside. Look who's here as well. Extinction is in the area. There comes the Vanguard's Edge along with the Blade Surge in. Velikos just trying to run away. Dominus has been popped. Diana flash in though, lands the Moonfall, pulls 2 in, turning this around. World Ender but there comes the Requiem on top. Ice will fall to World Ender with the assist coming in from Sir Jackson.
Yep, forgot about the Karthus ultimate. You know, if you're Ice, you're saying, wow.
Velikos really gets the stun, dashing out, gets all the healing from the Blade Surge, dodging to these backline minions, gets the stacks up on the passive. World Ender's in trouble here. Dash in as the Conqueror stacked. Auto's coming out. That's Velikos. 2v1 topside double kill.
Yeah, World Ender with a little bit of a misplay. I think he had procced the W to stun Velikos. Saw that he wasn't going to be able to get there. Instead, uses on a minion. Invites Velikos to go right back in because the PTA isn't going to be procced at that point. And a 1v2 for Velikos.
Absolutely. Fateful Death stepping up there, looking to possibly go in. Has that crash down available if she wants.
Yeah, and 2k gold lead for the side of Final Bastion. It's just been misplay after misplay for CB. You got to be frustrated. A little bit of miscommunication and not recognizing map states. Not recognizing abilities available.
Velikos is proxy and lands the stun off the Flawless Duet. Already chunks World Ender to half health. The stun comes out off that Ruthless Predator, but World Ender's in trouble. The minion wave's under the tower. Velikos just going to go in, dashes in with the Blade Search, and that's another solo kill picked up topside by Velikos.
And World Ender not recognizing that he's, at this point, 3 levels down, but at the time, too, with the double buff on Velikos, you just gotta sack the wave there.
Aquino goes in with the perfect execution. Ignite lands, manages to dodge out on that Everfrost root, lands perfect execution R2, and is able to solo kill Rams mid lane. That's why both these mid laners love the Akali.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just the ultimate BM from Irelia. 5-0 now. I mean, really great kill for Aquino Simp. You know, maybe you can be like, give your team a little bit of confidence.
Action's not done here. Flash in, out of CB Extinction, going to force the Arcane Shift away by Frisky, and nothing going to come off of that. No follow-up there at the moment. But it looks like we do see World Ender rotating down. They're prioing this dragon right now.
Meanwhile, on the top side, Irelia just, you know, taking camps, taking farm, putting pressure. They're happy to give up the strike. They already got the first dragon. Gold lead should be ballooning here despite the dragon going over to CB.
Absolutely. True Shot Barrage a bit late trying to go for that steal. Nothing come out of it. We do see Mythics starting to hit the board. Rams and Frisky have picked up the Everfrost and the Trinity Force respectively. Meanwhile, still waiting on our first Mythic out of the side of CB.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're CB here...
Oh my! Velikos just backed and picked up 2 full items.
Yeah,
they had components for Bork. They just finished Bork and Wit's End.
The Wit's End, really, really good. You know, Karthus, lots of AP damage. The AP damage coming up from Volibear, Kali. Wit's End going to be getting lots and lots of value. My guess is you see a Divine Sunderer, possibly a Trinity Force coming out for that 3rd item for Velikos. But at this
in
time,
the area, trying to defend Aquino Simp, who is in that shroud right now. Herald about to crash. The Diana Crescent Strike takes it out. That looked like a Herald kill in all honesty, but topside.
It was a Herald kill.
Well then, you can't step up anymore, buddy. This is gonna fall to Velikos. That's just another minion right now. That's a crocodile handbag.
I mean, if this is a solo queue game, it's an FF angle. Nobody's gonna be really able to lock down this Irelia at this point. Sir Jackson can't. I mean, yeah, he has an item. He hasn't died, but he's not gonna be able to scale.
Oh, Fateful Death and Extinction. And look at this. This root comes in off the Attract Repel. Fateful Death already chunked down, forced to flash away, but Velikos flashes over, takes her down. Velikos chasing in under the tower. Blade searches. Out comes the Stormbringer just to try and get a bit of the image. Velikos dashing away, going to barely live, but the Requiem is coming in. The Defiant Dance is not enough to reduce the damage. That will be a massive shutdown going to CB Sir Jackson, but at what cost?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, what are you supposed to do from the side of CB? I mean, you really have to have 3 men on the side of Aurelia at all times. Hopefully you can punish a little bit of an overaggression onto the World Ender. But I mean, World Ender, he's what, 3-4 levels down now. No item completed while you have 2.5, 2 1/3, I would say, Aurelia. I mean, it's gonna be really tough to match this Aurelia in side lanes. And the unfortunate thing is she takes towers so fast you can't really just leave her alone and try to make plays on the other side of the map, because she'll just take your whole base.
Exactly.
The TP, look at that deep TP.
Deep TP coming in. Rams going to not catch CB Sir Jackson with the cage. He's going to barely get away with his life.
I mean, how clenched do you think Sir Jackson was?
I think Velikos wants this. They get the stun onto 2. Going to walk away, though, as Aquino Simp was threatening the potential all-in. The thumbs up.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking at the gold here. You know, 4.5k.
Moonfall comes in. There's the Dominus as well. Ruthless Predator comes in. Tries to get the root. Dominus going to just flash away. Ruthless Predator get out of the way. Slice and Dice not going to be enough, as that is the Crescent Strike coming in to take him down. That is going to be an instant Herald start for the side of Final Bastion as they see the top laner for CB Frost fall. We see the rotation coming out of CB Extinction and Fateful Deaths. Question is it enough? No. Ice going to be picking up that Herald.
Okay. Well, FF off the table. The way you approach this game as Fateful
Ice
Death
looking.
on, Ice is going.
Blasco unluckily gets Fateful Death to
Fortunate
safety
Blasco.
for now.
Yeah.
Extinction does secure their blue buff. Sir Jackson in the area in case there's any all-in attempt engaged. But
So
looks like they're going back to lanes right now. Aquino Simp matched up against Velikos. I don't think you can do anything about this Aquino Simp. If Velikos wants this tower, they're going to take the tower. Look at it. Blade Surge, the wave is already gone. Stacking up. It's going to be backing away for now. Sir Jackson doing his best to just farm up mid lane.
So if I'm CB Frost here, I'm trying to set basically a line of vision in my own jungle, kind of towards river, and just try to freeze waves and give up as much as possible while you try to scale. That's really the only thing you can do at this point. Is stepping up. I mean, World Ender just having trouble with Rams on this Vigar. This Vigar is going to be free scaling. It's unfortunate, but if you could try to freeze the waves, give up, you know, 2 dragons.
We got a collapse coming in here. Velikos and Frisky in the area. Flawless Duet comes out, gets the stun. Fateful Death's already down. Sir Jackson forced to flash away from that Vanguard's edge, gets out, forced to exhaust Velikos. Sir Jackson jumps over the wall with the Stormbringer, but Velikos chasing him down with the Blade Surge, going to be walking away in the end, though, not able to continue the chase.
Sir Jackson is doing a lot of damage with these isolated Qs. The Skittles, as us old-timers call them. But this game's looking really dire for CB. If anything, I think you just try to keep a level head, play it as close as you can, punish as many mistakes as you can, learn from it, and, you know, start talking about the next game. What are we going to do?
Learn from it, and don't give Velikos Aurelia.
Oh, well, that's the thing, right? The Renekton was a takeaway. He opted into the Aurelia. Can only give so many bans up to the top side. You're going to give everybody else what they want. I mean, if you just put World Ender on a tank and say, hey, don't feed as much farm as you can, we're going to play towards our bot instead.
Fateful Death has to crash down away. Ice chasing in, gets the pulling off the Moonfall. The Magnet Storm comes out. It's not enough, though. That will be Fateful Death falling again.
And, you know, Final Bastion, to their credit, has gotten a massive lead, and they're running with it. You know, they're very cohesive. They're making the right calls. They're moving around as a unit, taking what they want. While CB, you know, from the very start,
World Ender dashing in there, gets the Ruthless Predator stun, force out the flash by Rams, and with the Ignite, that is going to be the World Ender picking up a solo kill, barely living that Primordial Burst off of Rams.
yeah, Rams kind of kicking himself in the pants there. No
Aquino Simp in the backline, though, has popped the perfect execution. Sure can flip back, is not going to hit anything. He goes in onto Ice. goes wide with the 5-point strike. The Monsoon does come out to disengage alongside the Shurelya's, but Velikos is here. There's the dash in with the flawless duet into the Blade Surge. Chasing down, Extinction is dead. Jackson may be next on the menu. Ice is looking at it. Crescent Strike there. Wall of Pain just for the slow. Going to disengage.
And I mean, look what the comp's able to do from the side of Final Bastion. You have, you know, two high damage bruisery types in the Irelia and Diana, you know, wreaking havoc on the backline while, you know, getting poked down from this Ezreal. Just constant Qs coming out. That's a lot to deal with for CB. And frankly, I don't think they really have any way to deal with it. I mean, you basically locked yourself into, hey, we're gonna win lanes and steamroll the game, but the exact opposite happened. You lost pretty much every lane except, you know, we'll say bot went even. But this, you know, Velikos, Ice, Rams, everybody on the side of Final Bastion has been able to play on your side of the jungle and kind of, you know, put their will on Summoner's Rift.
Absolutely. Velikos right now 9-1-1 on this Irelia, currently sitting at 11.5k gold. The next closest person in this game is actually Sir Jackson at 8k. That means Velikos is 3,500 gold ahead of anybody in this game. And it looks like Baron may be on the menu soon. We see the side of Final Bastion getting set up, looking to potentially pick, or a fight may be happening here. We do see Velikos in the bot line without TP. Sir Jackson. World Ender looking to possibly go in here with Extinction, but Aquino Simp just trying to duel against Velikos right now. Looks like Rel is caught. Fateful Death in trouble. Ice looking to chase down, does have all that. Aquino Simp meanwhile trading. The wave is gone. Velikos going in onto Aquino Simp, dashing back under the tower. Aquino Simp just trying their best to clear the wave. Meanwhile, Iced, Adamant, and Frisky starting up this Baron right now, trying to force no contest. We do see both Rams and Velikos rotating over. We see in the back of the pit, Extinction is there, looking to possibly go over with that Stormbringer. But World Ender has popped that Dominus. The Requiem is going to come out for some damage. Big chunk on them, forcing them off the Baron. Velikos is here, though. There's the flawless duet. Vanguard's Edge in there. Big just domination comes out. Frisky picks up the kill. Velikos picks up the World Ender. Frisky is low. He will fall, but not before they take down Fateful Days. And that's two falling to the side of Aquino, who was able to get some cleanup damage there, taking down both Frisky and Ice, which means the Baron's not necessarily on the table now, but Velikos wants blood. They're chasing down Aquino. Blast Cone's not going to be taken. Instead goes for the Shuriken flip over, but falls to the baleful strike of Rams, and with 3 members up, they're just going to pivot right onto this Baron.
Yeah, and Velikos has plenty of damage, especially with, you know, the Vygar chipping in as well. He's going to be able to sustain with that Immortal Shield, with that Bork. And, you know, if you're CB, I think you just try to let Extinction try to steal the Baron away. They had vision that had not been cleared. Instead, they opted to do a fight that didn't go their way.
Absolutely. Things really not looking good for CB Frost right now, as if it couldn't get any worse. Baron now on the side, as if Velikos was hard to match in a side lane before. This just makes it even harder.
And is that a Radiant Virtue we're gonna see coming out Diana? It has to be, right?
Could be Radiant Virtue, could be one of the 2 support mythics in Locket or Evan Shred, or it could be Jackshow.
I mean, if it's Radiant Virtue, you know what? It's probably Jackshow. But if it's Radiant Virtue, I don't really see a way that Ice dies, especially if he gets the ult off of multiple members of CB.
Velikos right now just stepping up, takes away the blue. The ultimate disrespect, saying, you want to walk up, try and get this dragon. You're not even going to be able to get your own blue right now. Nobody wants to step up to Velikos, who has that Immortal Shield bow completed. Just going to be impossible to kill. Top side, meanwhile, World Ender is matched up against Rams. Has solo killed them once before. Not looking to happen again, though. Does have that Prowler's Claw available. Velikos just taking away everything right now. World Ender trying to dodge away. Vagar chunking him out. Just going to walk away. Slice and Dice fails over the wall. Going to walk away. Velikos and Adamans are here. They're just looking to chase it down. The shield comes in onto Velikos. They're just toying with World Ender right now. They're chasing him down. They're just going to let him go. They're saying you're not worth the gold. The wolves are worth more. He's wrapped around behind. He's going back to the
lost him.
wave, actually. He's out.
I don't know where he went.
Yeah, he just jukes him. He's just going to walk back up towards the minions.
Psychological
Meanwhile,
win for the World Ender, but the game state pretty dire.
absolutely. Escape, World Ender. Game probably going the other way.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Rams is sitting, really nice. He already has that Mythic plus the Death Cap completed. Lots and lots of stacks his way. I mean, really, you've locked yourself into a team comp that can't team fight, and that's all you're going to be able to do at this point. Objectives come up, you're going to try to contest, but it's going to be really, really hard to get in. Rams has a ton of zoning control with the baby cage. Ezreal Q's coming out. You can't really engage if Jan is there. I really don't see a world in which they can contest this game.
World Ender pops the Dominus down here, just looking to try and clear out the wave as fast as possible. Velikos just clearing with these blades there, just gets ignited. It doesn't even matter, though. Dashes under the tower, even with the Ignite, with the Prowler's Claw, with the Enhanced Ruthless Predator Stun. Velikos is fine.
FCB, I know the first thing I'm doing when I get in the next game is turning off emotes. The emotes have been
absolutely brutal. Right now, the siege just coming in mid-wave. You have to think we may see a desperation play soon out of CB. Last-ditch effort, no matter how little it may accomplish. Faithful Death, blast cones over the wall, trying to get out to safety. Really, inhibs falling, inhibitor towers falling. What can you do right now?
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm Final Bastion, I'm just keeping these waves as pushed as possible. They can play for, that fourth Drake if they want, or they can, potentially go for the end once they knock down all these inhibitors. Waves will be crashing pretty much at the same time.
World Ender looking to go in here, gets to the slice and dice into Pep Cole the Meek. Just going to get obliterated, though, by the Primordial Burst. Meanwhile, Red's in the backline onto Extinction. Velikos isn't even here. It doesn't even matter. Oh, there's Velikos. Catches a Kino Simp. Just going to dash onto him with a Blade Surge. Autos come out, going to fall. Now on to Fateful Death, going to take her out as well. CB Jackson will fall. Last man standing is CB Extinction. The Requiem's going to come out from the corpse of Sir Jackson. Does mean they can pick up Frisky, but it's not going to be enough, though. Iced on. There's the Everfrost. There's the Root. There's the kill. 4 members left standing. And that's going to be an easy game number 1 going over to Final Bastion.
Yeah, tough loss for CB, but I think there's a lot to learn from. I think they realized they kind of pigeonholed themselves into a comp that can't really match the aggression from Final Bastion, so hopefully we see some adjustments in game 2.
Absolutely. I think the big thing right now from the start is CB is going to have to look at their draft. That really did not work out well for them overall with how things turned out. Looking at the damage alone, Velikos 13, 1, and 6 on this Aurelia. 24k damage most in the game, just followed by Sir Jackson on the other squad. Did do a lot of damage with this Karthus, but a lot of burn coming off of the Leandries.
Yeah, and I mean, a lone bright spot for CB, Sir Jackson definitely played very, very well. I think you take that, kind of shift your plans and say, hey, World Ender was doing all right early on in the laning phase. Maybe put him on a tank and say, just play safe, play to your capabilities. Let's try to get Sir Jackson ahead and make this game a little bit more playable.
Exactly. So looking at that, you probably expect World Ender to maybe end up on more of a tank next time, just after what Velikos was able to do topside. It'll be really interesting to see exactly how the drafts pivot around right now. I gotta ask, normally I'd ask you, who's your MVP for game number 1? But I have a feeling we both know who it is.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be Velikos. Obviously, he was basically a raid boss at one point, zoning the whole team away just by himself. Nobody really wanted to step up because fear of the Aurelia Quadra kill coming out again. You teams really have to find a way to either punish the aggression you see out of Velikos, or either punish the Velikos aggression, or play to the opposite side of the map and force Velikos to put the rest of his team on his back. Not saying he didn't do it this game, but really every member of Final Bastion was able to kind of do what they want that game 1.
Absolutely. We are going to head to a slight break right now as we come back and get our next lobby set up, come back for draft. But when we do, we'll be hitting you with game number 2 with CB Frost taking on Final Bastion. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Game number 2 of the night. Final Bastion taking on CB Frost. Final Bastion was able to pick up the win in game number 1 off a wonderful Aurelia performance out of Velikos. We are going to be heading into draft rather soon, but sides have been swapped around. CB Frost taking us to the blue side. Final Bastion heading over to the red.
It's interesting to see CB take a blue side. I believe loser gets side selection for game 2. I'd rather have seen them, stay on red, have to force the cost to a blind pick, and maybe pick a better counter, maybe something that's a little bit either safer, scales well, or whatever it might be. Instead, they opt to the blue side, which lends itself in my mind that CB has a pick they really want to get with that first pick selection. Blue side is really only that valuable when you can get that first pick. Otherwise, I'm a red side stan. But I mean, maybe we see the Maokai come out for CB. That'd be nice. Definitely disruptive in terms of the way that Final Bastion wants to play.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We did see the Maokai banned away by them last game, so it'll be interesting to see if, like you mentioned, that pivot is them grabbing the Maokai B1 and opening up an early ban slot. We'll have to see exactly how things pivot around. CB Frost obviously going to want to adjust their draft. If you're Final Bastion, anything you want to change up, or are you saying that game went great, I'm going to stick with the same plan?
I definitely think you want to take note of the Karthus, kind of the lone bright spot for CB. Last game, was able to do quite a lot of damage, just with the ultimate alone. Perhaps there's a world in which they play around that, not Vel'Koz, the Karthus a little bit better, and it can do even more work. So maybe keep that in the back of your mind. Maybe ban it. Second round rotation, maybe first round. I think they did R3 it. So maybe take that one away. But otherwise, I think you're pretty confident in your abilities to play as a team. I'm not too scared of any pocket picks coming out of CB at this time.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see what exactly they decide to pull out in the end here. We're likely to see World Ender on something a bit safer into whatever Vel'Koz brings out. And it'll be interesting to see if we see such a engage focus out of Fateful Deaths again. Did not find much success on the Rel last game. Do we think she heads that direction again? Or are we going to be looking more at an Enchanter style?
I think she just she didn't have an opportunity to make that Rel work. The Janna was a really, really good counter pick into that Rel selection. Really depends on if they're picking that Karthus again or not. I do think you want some lockdown for the Karthus. Get those Qs off in a easier manner. Maybe some disengage as well. I don't know. Maybe something like a Nautilus. That point and click CC, especially for World Ender. If they're more suited for those engaged champs. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe you just try to handshake and take enchanters on both sides. I'm not too sure.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see how things pan out. We are going to be heading straight into the draft, though. And our thought of the Maokai, not going to come to fruition, as that is the first ban away from CB at this moment.
Yeah, and that really speaks to CB's ability to play what is meta right now. It feels really, really bad if you have to ban the Maokai on blue side. I really do think if it's in your wheelhouse, you just first pick it. Otherwise, I think you should have just stayed on red side and banned it away from there. But with that said, you see Ornn coming out, the same first ban for Final Bastion, and then Caitlyn for CB as well.
Yeah, so far, same bans across the board, 3 for 3 from CB. And are we going to see the 3 for 3 out of Final Bastion? That is the Syndra, yeah. Same bans all around. It'll be interesting to see what CB's plan is. It's going to be the Trundle B1. What are your thoughts on this?
Trundle's a hard pick to make work sometimes, especially, if we see a Janna come out again. The Anivia was banned away, but there's still plenty of zoning tools, maybe a Talia if that's in Ram's wheelhouse. Just to be able to get on somebody and run at them, it's hard in this meta right now. I think it doesn't lend itself towards the Trundle very well. The Wukong, I believe, is going to be an answer in the jungle from Iced. Really interested to see how Iced takes this pick. He is known for his carry junglers, even though Vel'Koz, kind of is the star of this team. Iced in his own right can take over games, and Wukong is a champ that can do that. And then Seraphine, the Seraphine Chaser, 2 wombo combo ultimates. I like Final Bastion's draft so far.
Absolutely. Wukong Seraphine, already a strong combo to have on the board. It'll be interesting to see exactly who picks up that Seraphine in the end. A lot of ways it could pivot, heading it towards mid for Rams. I would be surprised if it ends up there. but could end up in the hands of both Frisky and Adamaz as we speak. So
Yes.
CB has the option to respond. It's going to be the Sona.
No, I am a big fan of Sona. I like it better if you see a Sivir come out early. Sivir has a really hard time. The range from Sona just outranges Sivir outright. I don't think we'll see a Sivir, unfortunately, but I do. I'm a big Sona fan. Can definitely put out a lot of poke, and the Silas hover and lock in from Akino Simp. If you guys watched Worlds like I did last, yep, there's the Akali. I mean, that is just a skill matchup to its finest.
Absolutely. We saw Akino Simp piloting that Akali last game. Now it's going to be falling to Rams this game. Sona, possibly a denial. They were worried about a Seraphine Sona bot duo coming in. Of course, a lot of healing and shielding out of that duo. But as we head into bans, once again, topside focus to start, with Darius and Fiora both being taken off the board respectively.
Yep, we're going to see lots of bans come out for both of these top laners. I'm probably going to see all four, actually. I imagine that Final Bastion and Velikos might have to dig into their bag of tricks. I really want to see their Graves come out. They've been playing it in solo queue. Instead, the Xayah is banned away from CB. Don't want to see that ultimate paired with the Sona. Definitely a good ban. The one I didn't think of.
Yeah, absolutely. Aurelia, meanwhile, the last takeaway from CB, they're saying, okay, Velikos, you did great with this last game. Let's not have that happen again. Misfortune going to possibly be the lock-in here, the hover right now. So it looks like Final Bastion heading into that 80 carry pool and giving the final counter pick to Velikos. We'll have to see exactly what it is. But is it going to be the Firefly? Is it going to be the Lightning Fly? Nope. It's going to be Misfortune. The Pirate is in the bot lane. Of course, the combination between the Bullet Time and the Encore. Great lockdown with damage over top. Going to be a very potent bot lane to have to deal with. Misfortune really strong in these laning phases. It'll be interesting to see what CB's response is. They need both their 80 carry and top laner to round out this draft.
Yeah, and I'd like to see a more traditional 80 carry. Not that the Karthus was bad last game. I think it was actually the best performing member of CB. But you really need damage at this point, and we see the
There's your damage.
Yeah, it's gonna be plenty of damage. You know, the is it rat-a-tat-tat now, or is it spray and pray? Did they change it
I
back?
believe it's spray and pray still.
Okay. Either way, that Twitch ult, I'm gonna be doing lots of damage to a team that really wants to group up. You get a Ruinans on that Twitch, and then Urgot coming out for CB. Wow.
Blind picking the Urgot for World Ender, and the response, we saw a Gangplank into a Garen hover. I doubt we're going to get the Garen. I'm expecting the GP, personally.
You know, I do like Velikos' GP. I don't think it's his best pick in Urgot. Urgot has a really easy time just autoing those barrels away. If he gets on the Gangplank ever, Gangplank almost gets one shot, but he's going to pick it.
Yep, comfort there. Velikos locking in. Double Pirate buff coming in for Final Bastion between the top and 80 carry. Of course, Cannon Barrage going to be influential no matter where Velikos is on the map.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like CB's drafts a little bit more this game compared to last. I think Final Bastion has the easier comp to execute. However, Silas has lots of ultimates to steal away. Basically, any champ, he could just, blind steal an ultimate. It'll probably be useful in team fights. The Akali ult, if he gets on the back line, can really, one-shot this Misfortune with Silas's kit combined with that ult. The Seraphine ult can really disrupt what they're trying to do. GP ult just for damage. So it'll be a lot of pressure on this Silas to steal the right ones and make these team fights work. But I think, improvement was seen from CB for this draft.
Absolutely. I definitely like what they have going on here more than I like what they had last game. However, looking at the drafts all around, I'm still more of a fan of what Final Bastion have. I think they have an easy execution comp. I'm expecting the Engage to come in out of Iced on this Wukong, have the follow-up from Adamas on this Seraphine with a bullet time over top, and Rams in the backside with this Akali. I think it's going to be a dangerous comp to deal with.
Yeah, and if you're CB, you really got to be on point with the vision. Wukong offers a lot of unique and interesting angles to gank from with that, change W, being able to go over terrain. Lots of. I expect the the I would say pressure or a focus to shift from top to mid. Gangplank and Urgot are fine, kind of just trading autos, scaling. But this Akali Silas is definitely a volatile situation. I'll look for both junglers to make their way towards that mid lane, unlock those really heavy roaming styles, and wreak havoc on side lanes.
Absolutely, and something to consider out of the side of Final Bastion is they have a lot of good scaling there between the Seraphine, Gangplank, even the Wukong. Whereas we look over at CB Frost, their main scaling is going to be coming out of that Twitch. Get to a late game, a Twitch that's set up properly can melt through an entire team, but a Gangplank barrel or two may end that early for you.
Yeah, I mean, just one good GP barrel, and a lot of these members from CB are going to get chunked. I expect Trundle to go kind of more of a bruiser build, maybe Iceborne Gauntlet, so you get some Sheen procs. Silas, hopefully we see the Roa build. I'm a really big fan of Rod of Ages on the Silas pick. Creates a really, really beefy, kind of frontline, not artillery mage, like a battle mage. Other than that, I mean, Urgot's going to be a little bit squishy towards this gameplay near the mid to late game. Sono will get one shot. Twitch will get one shot. So hopefully, Velikos doesn't have. If you're CB, you're hoping that Velikos doesn't have a game like he did the last one.
Well, every game so far Velikos has been having has been like that last one, so that may be tough for the side of CB to come out upon. It'll be really interesting to see what their plan is to deal with Velikos on this GP, as no matter where he is, he'll have that cannon barrage to influence the map. I'm really interested to see what Extinction is going to be able to do with this Trundle. They B1'd it for a reason. What is their plan?
Well, I think he should pivot. He's on blue side now. He could really, honestly, 3-camp from top to bot against a, relatively immobile Misfortune and Seraphine. Look for a cheesy, Twitch surprise. Sono with some poke. Hopefully they can poke down that lane, have the Trundle come, either blow some subs, maybe get a kill. I really don't want to see CB accelerate the scaling of GP. They spend lots of time on top side. The chances of that go up, astronomically. Velikos is really capable with this champ in his hands, and so maybe just let him scale off a farm instead of kills. He's going to be a menace regardless as the game goes on. So maybe just, sack some farm, let him do his thing and put pressure on this mid and bot side.
Wait a sec. I'm gonna guess that they're just not actually in order because we currently have a Gangplank in slot number 2, but I'm guessing just means they weren't in order all around. We'll have to wait and see, though.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there's everything in order. Nothing too surprising there. I was going to say, Gangplank jungle? That doesn't make sense. But yeah, everything locked into place as we should. We are about to head into our spectator delay. When we come back, we are going to be bringing you game number 2 between CB Frost and Final Bastion. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in game number 2. CB Frost now on the blue side into Final Bastion on the red side, and we have a pause.
Yeah, it looks like
That's
a little
about
bit of a
right.
disconnect from Faithful Des. The only one without items right now. But
Oh, it's wonderful.
we'll try to get to the bottom of why the pause is happening. But in the meantime, you've had some opportunity to talk about draft a little bit. I mean, what are you looking at in terms of how you think this game's gonna go?
Absolutely. Looking at this, I think Velikos with this gangplank may be able to absolutely wreck shop come later. Once they get these items stacking and get the crit chance coming with those barrels, it's just going to shred just about everybody on this enemy team. Sir Jackson's going to get probably 2 shot from these barrels. And, okay, unpause. We're back in the game. We're good to go, hopefully.
Yep.
Looks like Faithful has picked up items, so she's back, so we're good to go.
We'll probably see a little bit of a delay coming out of pause. Sometimes it freezes just for a little bit. As Worldender.
Oh, coming out with that passive. There's the E in, the disdain to flip. The auto's coming out. Of course, now we get the pause. Thank you, game. We're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. Any day now.
Rams coming out from
any day now.
Corner.
Oh, there it comes. Worldender sees his mistake as Iced is following as well. Velikos chunked out, going to walk away. But there's the Nimbus strike in. CV Extinction is there as well. Just gets a chomp. And a lot of damage going to be traded back and forth. But in the end, Velikos going to take the reset alongside with Ice like none of this even happened. The only thing that was accomplished is Velikos got some free money from First Strike.
Yeah, 21 gold. We'll take it, right? I mean, if you're Velikos, you didn't die, you got 21 gold. That's a big win. And now Worldender's probably top of the damage charts, but in the long run, I don't think that'll matter.
Absolutely. Was possibly looking to get a cheeky kill there with that disdain early, but with Iced and Rams rotating up, nothing really going to come out of it right now.
It looks like
something to note, both junglers starting bot side.
Yeah, but it looks like Trundle is going to be doing a leashless start. They did get vision on that red buff, so they know that Ice is starting bot side as well. Interesting take. I think they're going to try to. It looks like they pulled the wave, so this wave will be crashing into Sir Jackson. Maybe you see. Oh nope, we're probably going to see a 3-camp top, just like last time. CV Extinction.
Yep. Right now, Faithful Dash trading with those Hymns of Valor, just getting the extra damage off. Always like to see it. Sir Jackson doing his best to farm right now. Worldender trying to just punish Velikos while he can. Gets the with the disdain, stands behind him. Auto's coming out, enhanced by the passive. Velikos just barely going to live. Flash for fast trade.
No.
Lace up. Not going to do enough there. But both top laners now, no flash. That's a call sign to both junglers. Get up here as fast as possible. Sir Jackson gets the ambush attack speed buff. Just want to be able to chunk out Frisky on that misfortune. Back them up a little bit. Meanwhile, mid lane, everybody's farming.
Yeah, the side lane's going really, really well for CB this time around. Mid lane kind of quiet, which is surprising with Akali and Silas matchup. Seem to try to get that, those levels going instead. But really impressed with the Worldender and how he's approached the lane so far. I had a feeling that Urgot
Extinction's here topside. They're gonna look at this. Barrel does go off. Extinction is in the area. Drops the pillar. There's the disdain flip. The auto comes in. That is going to be the Worldender picking up a kill, but that's an execute falling onto Extinction. To 1-for-1, but the kill goes over to Worldender. That is what they wanted to happen. Obviously not ideal that Extinction falls, but it is an execute, so it's not as bad as it could be. Meanwhile, bot side, Frisky and Adamaz are chunked out here.
Yeah, I mean, Sir Jackson and Faithful Des having a lot better of a time in this 2v2 than last go around. I was afraid Extinction and Worldender were going to screw that dive up because Extinction actually pillared himself off of being able to hit the GP, but all works out in the end. The execute comes through. First blood going over to the Worldender, and a favorable wave position as well.
Absolutely. We are starting to see just how things come out. We do see double longswords picked up topside for Worldender to the single longsword of Velikos. So it will be interesting to see where things go in terms of well, early itemization. But right now, everybody's just going back to their farming ways. Nothing too exciting happening early game, though we do see Iced in this top side, looking to possibly force a response here if the World Ender goes too aggressive on Velikos. There's the disdain, and Iced is in the area, walking around, has those autos coming out. Velikos is barely going to live. The World Ender is getting chunked out, falls to the Nimbus strike of Iced in the end, and just not going to go his way. Extinction, though, in the mid lane. Rams gets hit by that Pillar of Ice. The autos are coming out. He is just going to walk away, though, with Ice coming towards that mid lane now. Iced all over this map. And something to note, World Ender, no TP, so going to lose a massive wave topside.
Yeah, I mean, Velikos staring death in the face, walking away with basically 2 HP, still going over to Ice, about to camp up on the Trundle for CB.
Frisky caught there, though. Look who's in the bot lane. It's Extinction in the backside, pops the pillar and just walks away, forcing out the heal and the exhaust of this bot duo of Frisky and Adamans, meaning Sir Jackson and Des have a decent advantage down here now. Of course, the Ghost was popped earlier from Sir Jackson, but with this crash, it looks like they're just going to be heading back to base. But look who's rotating. It is Rams, was looking to possibly get onto Extinction in that bot river. Extinction, though, just going to get out safely, meeting up with his bot side. Top side, though, we do see Velikos has picked up that Sheen, making this laning even harder for World Ender to deal with. Especially when those barrels hit like that. There's the Disdain flip over, has the Purge active, but Velikos is just running him down, has these autos. Trial by Fire not available, but it's not needed as the Parlay takes him down.
Yeah, and this is something that we saw game 1 where CB feels like they're getting a little bit of, pressure from the side of FB over on red, and, instead of trying to slow the game down, scale up, play to their strengths, they kind of just, Oonga Boonga and start trying to make dives happen with no wave bot. We're trying to, just 1v1 the gangplank with the Sheen, just slow it down.
Velikos, though, look who's here. It is Fateful Death and Extinction. They have rotated over. The pillar comes out. The autos are coming out. Extinction will pick up the kill onto Velikos, as well as the barrel.
Yeah, really, really good roam from Fateful Des. You love to see supports checking their way up to our top lane. Shout out to Core JJ on TL. It's kind of his move as Rams going aggressive.
Meanwhile, with that bot side, seeing the fact that Extinction and Des were topside, that is going to be the go sign for Final Bastion to start up this dragon. Cannon Barrage has been picked up, and it looks like Velikos is just going to be dropping that topside, trying to catch some of the wave.
It does a pretty good job. Hate to see a death go the side of top, but it results in a free dragon for Final Bastion. And I'm surprised,
I want your opinion on this. World Ender picked up an early serrated Dirk. Do we think he's looking at an early lethality item here? Usually we see rushes on, like, the Titanic Hydra.
So this is a pivot. World Ender is going to opt into Prowler's Call, I believe. A lot of people that...
Light's coming in mid, though. There is the perfect execution. Akinos in trouble, gets the heal off the Kingslayer. Extinction comes in with the pillar. It's not enough, though.
Oh, no.
Rams is going to fall in the end there. 1-for-1 mid lane. Extinction picks up the response, though. So that is just a even trade there in the mid side.
Yeah, poor pillar placement. I think if you land that pillar a little bit more correctly, Akino Simp gets an opportunity to get his W off. I don't know if it was up or not. But the kill is traded, 10 CS and a kill for Akali. Happy with that trade, forcing the wave in. And Velikos just, bullying World Ender now.
Absolutely, using those parlays alongside the first strike just to poke out. Sir Jackson getting a little bit of damage alongside that poison on to Frisky right now.
See Extinction here again.
Extinction's everywhere.
I think
Flash Disdain over, Fear Beyond Death lands, and with the Purge, that's a solo kill topside for the World Ender.
Lots of damage coming out from that serrated Dirk. You're not used to seeing an Urgot with that. Gangplank, Velikos.
Akino Sim goes in there, does not land the Abscond. Abduct Autos coming in off the Kingslayer alongside the Chain Lash. And bot side, as you mentioned, there's Extinction. Autos coming out of Sir Jackson, forced to flash away. Extinction will take down Frisky, though, and it looks like Adamans is next, as they are just stuck under this tower. There's the flash chomp by Extinction. They do trade themselves, as Adamans picks up that massive, decent shutdown there, of an extra 150 gold, with CB Sir Jackson just barely getting out with their life.
Extinction really proactive on this map. I mean, obviously not going to be able to keep up with the farming prowess of the Wukong. Instead, opts to say, hey, I'm going to get my laners ahead. You know, lots of kills going to the jungler. You'd like to see some go to the Twitch or the Sylas or whoever, but now it's up to Extinction to take, you know, this goal that he's acquired and apply it effectively onto the, you know, pressure points of the map.
Absolutely. Extinction did B1 this Trundle. They picked it up for a reason, and we're seeing the comfort for Extinction available right now. Of course, gold's still relatively even. Less than 1,000 gold separates the teams. One dragon is going over to the side of Final Bastion. We'll have to see how things come out, though. But it looks like World Ender may be in trouble here. He lands with the Cannon Barrage on him, and look who's in the area as well. It is iced, but it looks like World Ender's just going to walk away. So that is Cannon Barrage forced out for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, the slow, you see, you know, why he would pop the World Ender slow to kind of serve him up to ice. You like to see the World Ender, or, Cannon Barrage instead used while ice is ulting. World Ender getting, you know, a decent amount of health from ice, the Serrated Dirk, and Warhammer doing some work.
Absolutely. Essence Reaver already finished up topside for Velikos. Something to take a look at. Oh, Encore comes in here. The stun off the Crescendo comes out to stop any possible follow-up. That does mean that Fateful Death has to flash away. They will live in the end, though. That's just to support ultis traded.
Don't look now, but Rams on his Comfort Akali is bullying Akino Sim. Didn't get the Akali at game 1, got it game 2. 20 CS up, and I'm going to get a couple plays here with the Rift Herald.
TP coming in mid here, just trying to stop any engage coming in there. Ice going in, pops the Cyclone, gets the knockup. There's a Shuriken flip. Instant takedown onto Extinction.
Don't think that's a champion you want to give a shutdown to ever. Akali sitting pretty 2-1, 82 CS compared to the 56 from Silas. And while Velikos has not had a great game to his standards, the rest of the team able to get it done in the mid lane.
Absolutely. And you say a not good game to his standards. He's still up about 1,000 gold on World Ender. Mid lane, Akino Sim forced the Cyclone, gets the Kingslayer stun and heal. Cyclone comes out to knock up Rams under tower, but the perfect execution is enough to take him down.
Yeah, Rams 3-1 now on this Akali. 4 stacks on the Dark Seal. The ult hit.
Up top side, there's Extinction. Auto's coming in. Flash to get that Trial Beyond Fire damage off. The ulti has expired, so he can't get the pull and execution, but it does not matter. With Extinction there, that's another kill being picked up by the World Ender topside. And they are just they're trying to pick on Velikos after game 1.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You know, good plays coming out from Extinction. However, they're always on opposite timers of these objectives. If you notice, a kill goes topside, free dragon bot. A kill goes
Bullet time comes out, chunks out Fateful. Has to walk away. Meanwhile, topside, good amount of tower plates falling. Gold still even, though the TP and the Cannon Barrage are going to force them off the tower.
I don't know if you caught that, but Wukong on the backside of Dragon Pit trying to W over and chase down the Sona, instead just bonks himself into the wall.
That's never fun.
But like I was saying before, you know, these plays that Extinction is making on opposite timers of the objectives. So you saw a free Drake into a top kill for Extinction and crew, and then you see a free Herald while Extinction's bot side, and now we see another free Drake again. He's going to have to sync those timers up because you just don't want to give free objectives away for no reason. But I will say that gold is in a lot more manageable place than it was 13 minutes into game 1.
Absolutely. Mythic's starting to come in. We do see the Divine Sunder being picked up by Iced. We see the Prowler's Claw finished by the World Ender. And something to note, even though this game has been going better, especially look down bot side, decent CS advantage, look at the CS gaps mid and top right now. 30 CS lead picked up by Velikos, while mid lane, nearly a 50 CS lead for Rams right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
Flash
2,000
disdain
gold lead.
over. There's the autos coming out with the Purge. Prowler's Claw in, but look who's here. Ice is here. Does not matter that he misses the Fear Beyond Death, but Ice is going to be able to trade that back. Meanwhile, Rams onto Extinction. There's the Nimbus Strike into the Crushing Blow to take down Extinction topside. Encore comes out, going to catch onto both. No bullet time available to follow up. Sir Jackson pops the spray and pray, just walking it down. Does get exhausted. Flash in the autos, not enough for Frisky to take them down. Both the bot laners live in the end, as Fateful and Sir Jackson barely live in the end of that.
Well, everything happening all at once. Akino Simp.
Meanwhile, look who's balling. It's Akino Simp. No Encore going to hit. Still going for it. Frisky takes out Fateful in the back line, does get exhausted, but Sir Jackson is going to take out Adamaz. Meanwhile, Frisky's running, uses the Make It Rain and the Strep to try and get away. Look who's rotating, though. Rams is in the area. Extinction's there. Pillar gets the slow. Run down. Chomp autos coming in. There is the Chain Lash with the Abscond, plus the auto for Akino Simp to pick up that kill, get himself a little bit of gold. That's 2 for 1 down bot side.
And Rams making a smart, decision. Has 5 stacks on the Darksteel. No reason to go help the MF that surely did the rights. Instead, opts to, live to fight another day. Wow.
Look at World Ender here. The Herald has been dropped. There are no plates. He's just trying to back up. Is out of tower range. Meanwhile, Sir Jackson's in trouble as Rams picks that up. Meanwhile, World Ender trying to walk back under his tower. Akino Simp TP's in topside. Does not have anything, and he'll just instantly fall to the Divine Sunderer and the Crushing Blows out of Iced. And World Ender's next. Parlay takes him down, as that's another kill going over to Velikos. And now the Herald cracks open that top tower. Gonna get a crash onto the tier 2 here, and it looks like the side of Final Bastion's done playing around. They want to break this game wide open.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this in game 1, like I said before. Pressure is put onto CB, and CB reacts every which way is the wrong way for them. I mean, they're kind of, trying to make too many things happen all at once. We saw the TP coming out from Akino Simp and doing an immediate death. World Ender was dead, the tower was going down. Save that TP, trying to make another play. Instead, we're trying to do too much and ballooning this gold lead. What was once about 1,000 is now 5,000 in favor of Final Bastion.
Yep, top tier 1 and top tier 2 have now fallen. That is quite a swing there for the side of Final Bastion, in a great position right now. And look at this. That's a 3-man roam top. Velikos did not appreciate getting ganked early and often. They're taking out that aggression on the World Ender. World Ender's tried his best to fight out of it. Ice goes in. Cyclone knocks him up. Rams is going to pick up the kill. It's a 5-1 and 1 Akali.
And the problem with the Prowler's Claw build, as the E comes wide from Adamaz, is you can one-shot people, but you also get one-shot yourself sometimes. And, I'd say a little bit better of a showing from the World Ender. However, so far down in, not even CS gold, but that passive gold from GP coming out with the first strike.
That's trying to run away. Sir Jackson pops the spray and pray. There's the encore and the bullet time, but the crescendo comes out for the double stun into a double kill for Sir Jackson. Meanwhile, mid lane, Rams makes it look easy. Perfect execution. Another solo kill onto Extinction.
And that's going to be a free dragon for Final Bastion as well. So much used to pick up those 2 kills in the bot lane. Nothing's really left. No low health bars and a dead jungler means easy Drake take for Final Bastion.
Absolutely. Velikos says, I see your Prowler's Claw and will match you, as he has now picked up the Prowler's Claw as well. These GP barrels are going to absolutely decimate just about whoever they hit.
Yeah, and don't look now, but there's about a 2k gold lead in the solo lane from top. Velikos, even with the deaths early, still putting in work, and 3k gold lead for Akali and Rams on
Slow coming in there. Shuriken flips back in, has to drop the Twilight Shroud. Just going to walk away, though, as the cavalry has been called bot side. Adamaz and Ice are here. There's the slow off that beat drop. Fateful Death trying to walk away. Rams in the area. The clone does not close that gap enough, but Akino Simp's in trouble here. There's a tower, but it's not going to be here for long, as there are 3 people behind him. One minion is all that stands between that wave crashing and his death right now. Cannon Barrage mid is going to stop that siege instantly. Fateful's trying to walk up and peel as much as possible, though gets caught in range of the Proto Belt. Perfect execution. Gets instantly blown up. World Ender forced to TP down bot here, try and save his mid laner, but in the end, one still dies.
Yeah, and I mean, Silas had a chance to just walk out through river. I think you just stay top if you're World Ender. Oh, okay, never mind. The tower does go down to the minions. You get an objective bound.
Aquino dives into 3 of them, has to pop the Cyclone to try and walk away. Was in a very dangerous situation. Luckily can land a Scond Abduct onto a minion and get out of it. Trying to go in and use Cyclone Part 2 to knock people up with the follow-up of Sir Jackson, though not going to find anything in the end. We do see the 5-stack of Final Bastion currently set in this area. Meanwhile, topside, we just get a split pushing Trundle.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Trundle obviously does have great split push. However, he is playing jungle. So I don't know how much value you're getting out of that. And you know what? I will say CB playing a lot better than they did game 1. Obviously, still playing on their back foot. You got to play around this Twitch. 3-1-2. You know, the Kraken Slayer build looks like Bork is going to be coming out next. Maybe a Runan's 3rd item if they can get there. Doing really well compared to the
Proto
side
Belt
of
comes in alongside that perfect execution. Flash Disdain lands the Fear Beyond Death. It does not matter, though, as the second part of that perfect execution just going to annihilate the World Ender. No MR built up, only has that Prowler's Claw alongside those plated steel caps. Aquino Simp going to steal away the perfect execution. Maybe look for a kill on the Rams of their own. Meanwhile, dash in with the Nimbus Strike thanks to the Playful Trickster. There's the Encore landing. Stolen. Bullet time comes in. That's just going to be 1 kill. The Playful Trickster is denied from over the wall as the pillar stops him. That's going to be iced falling. Extinction picks it up. That is 2 kills to the 1 of right now for Final Bastion, still in the lead, but they have lost their jungle.
A huge wave crashing bot. I think you can take this pressure and apply it and go take a Baron if you're Final Bastion, opting instead to just play these waves out. Really great pillar from Extinction, managing to get the kill on Iced. However, gold lead still about 4k in favor of Final Bastion. You really need this Silas to hit a big Seraphine ulti in a team fight. Maybe Urgot comes in from, you know, a teleport flank or from out of vision. That's really going to be the only way you can win these team fights while Twitch is, you know, laying as much damage as they can. The Borg is out. I would expect to see a Runan's soon after. But it's really up to Silas hitting a key ultimate, Twitch getting as much damage as he can, and hopefully, you know, this Silas or this Kali that has 10 stacks on Darksteel doesn't just one-shot him.
Absolutely. Rams is really the person to watch come these team fights. Is if they ever get on to Sir Jackson is just going to pop in an instant. We do see Aquino and Rams both sitting on the most OP item in the game, a stopwatch, as we'll see exactly with the Dragon up in 40 what this next team fight brings to the table. How do you want to see this next team fight play out if you're CB Frost? What's your game plan?
Aquino Simp has to steal Seraphine ult, and they have to focus on the back line, whether that's, you know, Rams getting hit by the ult, whether that's MF and Seraphine. You really got to make these picks happen. You got to burst somebody down quick with the Silas. Otherwise, the team fight is just obviously in favor.
Well, how do you like Wukong ult instead? Because Aquino Simp has stolen that. Rams is onto him with the perfect execution. Hits the R2, and the auto empowerment comes off. Just demolishes Aquino Simp. And Rams isn't done. He's onto Extinction. Bullet time comboed with the Encore. Extinction is dead. Velikos looking to come in. Prowler's Claw in. But meanwhile, Sir Jackson shredding. MF next. 2 fall. Sir Jackson, the hero that is needed. Adam is forced to flash away. Call with the Fear Beyond Death. The passive of it does fall off. Rams trying to get these 5-point strikes over the wall, but the Purge still ripping through Final Bastion. Sir Jackson, the hero that CB Frost needs, keeps this from being a complete monster. They're going to catch Rams here, get slowed thanks to that Song of Celerity empowered auto. Meanwhile, World Ender frontlining here. They're looking to get on here. They're looking to turn this dragon, though. Something to note, Iced is still alive. World Ender's
Yeah.
looking to get onto Ice Tier, just has to Nimbus Strike away, gets the slow from the Corrosive Charge, Prowler's Claw in, but it looks like the Playful Trickster is going to get iced out. Meanwhile, TP's coming in bot side. There is Rams, there is Velikos, World Ender not long for this world, gets the flip from the Disdain, but perfect execution will take him out. That is a 5-4, still up. Aquino Simp still has that stolen Cyclone available. It'll be up to him. What can he do with it? What damage can Sir Jackson put out? Iced is low here. They are over the wall, but it looks like they may just be giving this 3 wrapping around. Meanwhile, Aquino Simp not with the team. Silas not going to be able to follow up or go in with anything. Rams threatening with that Proto Belt. Simp and Instinction there. Akali goes over the wall to threaten, force them away, as that will be Iced securing the dragon in the end.
And I don't know who's supposed to be calling the shots on the side of CB, but that was really messy. You know, TP coming out from Simp into doing nothing. World Ender getting caught on the side lane, kind of running around with their, you know, like a chicken with its head cut off. There's not really a clear, you know, nothing's really happening for CB. Somebody has to step up and make a call.
Final Bastion's making plenty of calls. They wanted the Chemtech Soul, they got it. They wanted the Baron, they got it. They're in complete control of this game right now, up over 5,000 gold at the moment.
Faithful Des trying to stop him back there, doesn't get to do so. And, you know, I don't know why I don't know who told him. I don't know why this is the case, but he's only stealing Wukong ult. You really got to either get the Seraphine ult or at this point get the GP ult. Because you need a little bit more damage, you know, the Seraphine, the AP scaling, GP, you know, the AoE damage, because the Wukong ult is not cutting it, and that's all he's taking so far.
Yeah, the issue is whenever Aquino is going in with that Cyclone, he's getting popped exactly like this by Rams with that perfect execution. Stopwatch comes in.
Ooh,
I think it's a waste of time, though.
I don't know.
As
I think
Rams Execution is going to get him out thanks to the TP from the World Ender and CB Extinction's rotation. Ram's just going to walk away and say, you know what? I burned a TP. I burned a Stopwatch. I'm happy with that. You can live for now.
Really unfortunate that Aquino said.
Luke's in the area, though. Iced onto Fateful Death. Pops the Cyclone off the Nimbus Strike. Just going to instantly pop Fateful Death, as that is now one member down. Frisky is in the area. Ice gets diving onto Aquino. Thanks to that Nimbus Strike Cyclone again. World Ender in the backline onto Frisky. Just takes him down with the Corrosive Charge, trying to continue the autos from the Purge. He will fall as well. The shield from Disdain, not enough. Meanwhile, topside, Velikos just charging into the base, taking the inhibitor with this Baron empowerment. What can you do right now? CB Extinction and CB Sir Jackson trying their best at the moment. Meanwhile, Rams in a taunt, Adamaz just sieging into this bot lane.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, CB, I don't think really knows what to do, how to approach the pressure being put out from Final Bastion.
Pillar comes out, autos coming into Rams in that Twilight Shroud. Does not matter, though, not able to be dropped as CB Extinction picks up the 1,000 gold shutdown with a big assist coming to minion block.
You'd really want to see CB just stop autoing when they're stunned under tower and give that kill over to Sir Jackson. 1,000 gold would go a long ways to helping this Twitch carry the rest of his team. Instead, does go over to Trundle. And at this point, I think Final Bastion is just going to put pressures, you know, on the waves mid and bot while, you know, supers do their thing top. They're going to get this last Elder and they'll probably look for the end.
Absolutely. Sir Jackson working towards, actually just finished that Lord Dominic's Regard. 3 items right now. He's going to hit like a truck on whichever target he decides to hit primarily onto. Meanwhile, top lane, Velikos, 3 crit items alongside that Prowler's Claw. Those barrels are going to nuke just about everybody on the side of CB Frost.
Yeah, I mean, really, Wukong, all he has to do is ult the Twitch, and the team fight is over. I mean, there really isn't really a threat from Extinction at this point, falling off as the Trundle. You know, Urgot might be able to one-shot a Frisky MMO on the MF, but other than that, I don't know how he's going to deal with, you know, Rams on the Akali, Velikos on the GP, Ice on the Wukong. Everything's going in the favor of Final Bastion. Really, Frisky, all he has to do is sit back, ult whenever Wukong does, and, you know, that's their job done. You know, kind of
CB Jackson is going to have to be blown up instantly as the Ignite comes out, and that's only hope of CB shut down in an instant. I was about to say has to position perfectly, and Ram says, "You ain't playing perfect, buddy," and just dives in with the perfect execution. As the side of CB looks to siege into cracking the base, that is the bot side inhibitor taken as well. Mid lane inhib is the last one standing. The tower will be taken as well. All inhibitor towers have fallen. One inhibitor stands as Ice is looking to clean that up right now.
We do have King news. Akino Sip did take the Seraphine ult finally. Might be a little bit too late though, as they're pulling off, looking at blue side, potentially Baron.
They're just taking whatever they can out of these camps. Baron not up for another minute and a half, but the big thing for everybody here, Elder Dragon, the game ender, the deciding factor, the thing that can turn a game around in an instant, is on the board in a minute. And that is the fight that is likely to end this game. If the side of Final Bastion wins that fight, it's over. It's game. It's a 2-0 series, and we go home tonight. If the side of CB Frost can pull it off, if Sir Jackson can carry, then maybe they have a shot at coming back into this game, no matter how slim it may be.
Yeah, and you know what I said? Akino Sip might have stolen the Seraphine ult a little bit too late. I think he actually took it too early, because it's going to time out before this Elder Dragon started. He might be forced to take the Wukong ultimate yet again. Hopefully he does enough with it. Hopefully Sir Jackson can position well, get the spray and pray down. You know, hopefully get a pentacle, because at this point, that's what's going to have to happen.
Sir Jackson, though, currently up top side. Rams diving in, gets hit by the crescendo. Does not matter, though. Perfect execution. Is able to take him out. Just the autos coming in. There's another one taking out Akino's. The encore comes out with the Cyclone. Bullet time not exactly doing too much, but Ice gets a double knock up there as Aquino is barely going to live. Sir Jackson running into Velikos. The trial by fire auto into the parlay takes him down. They don't need Elder Dragon. The World Ender is going to fall next to Velikos. He's going to flash away. As that is Rams falling alongside Velikos. It doesn't matter, though. Extinction is the last one left. Ice goes in, getting those autos off. That will be Frisky falling, though. Extinction makes it into the base, but it doesn't matter. Winions are here with Ice. Ice is cleaning this up. Ice in his veins. That will be game as Final Bastion takes the 2-0 victory over CB Frost.
Yep. I would say pretty clean from the side of Final Bastion. CB did show improvement throughout the series, only losing by 9k that game too. If you're CB, you take these two games, you take what you've learned throughout, past couple weeks, and you say, look, we need a shot caller, we need to have an identity, we need to know what to do in these situations when we are behind or when we are ahead. Because right now there's really no cohesion, no communication for what it looks like as we watch these games. Hopefully they can improve that way. And then Final Bastion, they just got to keep doing what they're doing. Clean up a couple of mistakes, maybe have a Wukong practice going over the terrain a little bit. But other than that, it seemed pretty clean from them.
Any team watching, you just saw the exact reason that Ramses Akali is always banned. 13-3-2 to end that game. His last death, of course, coming in the final moments as he decided to dive the Nexus towers, pulling up the most damage in that game by far with 32k damage to his name. An absolute clinic by Rams. Shout out does have to go to CB Sir Jackson. Gave it his best this game. Was looking in a strong position, but when you have a Fed Akali and Gangplank just diving onto you, there's not much you can do. Iced with a great performance as well. 7-1-8 on that Wukong. Great responses. I gotta say, right, it's been a hell of a series, but who is going to be your MVP for Final Bastion?
I mean, Velikos didn't have a great game too, to be honest. I think for the series, it might have to go to Ice. Doing a lot of work, Diana that game 1. Wukong game 2. Rams popped off, obviously, game 2. Held it down with the Vigar as well. But I think Ice, I don't know if he's shot calling or not, but he's definitely on top of the objectives. He's definitely doing what needs to be done to get Final Bastion ahead. And, I got to give it to him probably.
Absolutely right there with you. And, yeah, got to give shout-outs. Extinction tried his best on that Trundle. Sir Jackson had a great game on that Twitch as well. Just wasn't able to come together.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
CB, if you're gonna watch this for VOD review or whatnot, my helpful advice is to slow down the game. Don't try to make too much happen at once because otherwise you're just kind of digging your own grave. And then just work on objective taking, team fights, things like that. Clear communication goes a long way. Definitely lots of potential from CB. Sir Jackson, looking like a carry coming in. I don't know if that's going to be a permanent switch or not, but if they are going to be on that team, maybe start playing around him. And then lots of different threats for Final Bastion, doing really really well. Frisky not having the best game two, but the rest of his team able to carry. So looking really good.
Absolutely. So our MVP of the night, based on the two games, are going to be it's going to be Iced. We had a great game one by Velikos, great game two by Rams, but Ice just solid all around. We are going to head to a quick break as we try and get set up with an interview of one of the winners coming over from Final Bastion. So we'll be right back with them. How you doing, everybody? We are here today with our MVP of the series, Iced. How are you doing, man? Congrats on the 2-0 victory tonight.
I'm feeling amazing, you know? They played great. It felt really good to go back and forth, but my team just really good at closing out games, really good at finding those objectives, and it made my life really easy.
Yeah, talk about a little bit of the early game. You have two really strong laners in Rams and Velikos. As a jungler with that, the solo lane pressure, how are you enabled by those two?
Well, it's honestly like it hurts having a good top laner. Because as you guys saw, they just path 3 buff top every game. So I'm
Yep.
running for my life. The first time I saved it with the Diana, I decided to pivot to 5 camp Wukong. And I hear from the top side of my jungle, "You're dog shit! You're dog shit! My jungle! Where's my jungle?" You know? And it's it's definitely the burden, you know? But my solo laners are so easy to gank. But it also starts a thing of I don't know where they're gonna gank because all my lanes are so good.
True.
Absolutely. Just all that attention, especially after game one being drawn up to Velikos. I think Trundle was up there 24/7 just saying, you know what? We're not going to let that happen again. And they did manage to shut down Velikos a little bit, and then Rams happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm talk about the comms when they're giving away the Akali both game one and game two. Any reason why you didn't pick a game one, and how happy was you to get a game two?
Well, we were thinking about doing it second rotation, game 1, but they picked it away from us, which we didn't mind at all. Just, we do have Rams, and he is the Akali aficionado, so he knew exactly what to do into it. Definitely shut her down in the mid lane, made it really easy, you know? And game 2, when he got it, it's just like, well, okay, we actually told him if he didn't win lane, he just couldn't be team captain anymore. He has to be kicked.
Well,
Clutch your kick.
Yeah, he made sure to put the team on his back that one. I mean, Velikos struggling a little bit early, bot lane as well, but Rams kind of doing it all in terms of damage for you. Game 2, game 2 as it's going on, Velikos, struggling a little bit with all that pressure top side. Take me through what you're trying to do. Stacking objectives. What were the comms like getting to that mid and late game?
Well, I knew that it was going to be hard to do early objectives against this Trundle. He's so good at rushing these, and I don't fight him very well as he does steal my AD and armor with Q in that early game. So what we were planning to do is just to get around 6, start using that GP ult, start using those heavy bot lane team fighting ults, and just trying to one-shot the jungle as he is really only one way to get in, which is to walk in, But it turned out a little bit differently. The macro, I think, could have been played a little bit better. But definitely my team was just sick. They got the pressure when I asked for it, and it made those objectives super easy, especially Rams popping off. Perma mid-prio made both sides of the map, whether it was Herald or Dragon, super easy.
Absolutely. Now, with this win today, you guys come to 6-0, 3-0 in series score. Next week, you guys are going up against Never Lucky, another team currently sitting undefeated. Any thoughts on that matchup as we have 2 Titans facing off next week?
Honestly, yes. Oh my gosh. If you guys know anything about Never Lucky, Tominado's been the jungler for a while. I played against him in TBL, dunked on him. I must add, dunked. I'm talking about put this guy's face in the dirt, had him crying in the Discord call, but we're honestly, if we just ban that guy's, 7 supports that he drafted as teammates, then we shouldn't have a problem. He's gonna pick Olaf. He's gonna run at us. We're gonna walk away because we're not silver, and then we're gonna turn around and beat him up. So it's gonna be super easy. They're the worst team in the league, honestly.
Wow, big words.
Shots fired.
Yeah, shots fired indeed. I mean, for all that talk, putting Tominator in the dirt. How many times did you bonk your forehead trying to do the Wukong W?
Listen, no. It's a ritual. It's a ritual. You bonk your forehead, you win the game.
Okay. Yeah.
You've obviously never played Wukong.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. I believe that's all we're going to have time for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Iced. Once again, congratulations on 2-0 win. Anything you want to shout out before we end?
Yeah, shout out to my bot lane, My bot lane has been winning every single lane, or even at least going even, or like not being put in the dirt. And they're playing against these plat bot lanes. They've got all their elo on their bot lane. And my bot lane is still putting up a fight. So honestly, shout out to those guys. They do not get enough recognition in any of these calls because they really are lower elo, but they're not playing like it.
A little bit of a backhanded compliment. We'll take it back. Shout out to Volid.
Absolutely. All right, Ice, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Righteous, it's been a pleasure casting with you, man. It's been so much fun being here. Before we head on out, we have to give a big shout out to our man Snow producing tonight. He's tired. He needs to go to bed. He's been up since, I think, 4 a.m. So, yeah, let's get him some sleep. I've been Bickle tonight. It's been a pleasure having you. Anything you want to say we head on out, Righteous?
Oh, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night. Hopefully we see you again soon.
All right, have a good night, everybody.
Good night.